But yes, James, let's start out with the least valuable player award. How many? I gave my top three for my list. I don't know if you just have one player, but this season, who is your least valuable player in the NBA for the 2021-22 season?
So I do have a list of three. Can I give you the whole list?
Yes, I love it. I love it.
All right, clocking in at number 3 is Russell Westbrook. I just feel like they had such an incredibly disappointing season, and so much of it had to do with his, frankly, horrible style of play that's not conducive to winning. It's hard for me to imagine a player providing less value, especially if we're factoring price tag into account, right?
Also, just like what we kind of were hoping for you to do this
Yeah,
season.
exactly. Okay, number 2 I think is interesting, and you wouldn't guess it if I gave you I would say 1,000 guesses, right?
We'll give
Jordan
you
Nwora of,
Jordan Moore
of the Milwaukee
of
Bucks.
the
Yeah,
Bucks. So I wouldn't have guessed that just because I don't think anyone expected him to be of much consequence this season.
yeah.
But I do know that he's been asked. My brother's a Bucks fan, and he's just like, there's a lot of if we talk about disappointing parts of the Bucks season, there's like always like oh, he's good. Bucks are a great team, and then there's like every once in a while there's just like it's fucking Nwora. Like there's like always like this fucking dude can't be out there. Why is he out there? What is he doing to this team?
Let me tell you how I came to that. I sorted 538's Raptor.
Your
Right.
favorite metric.
I looked at the players who added the least value, and I filtered out players on bad teams because, like, obviously their rating is a little bit depressed by the team's success, and also like it's hard for me to say that a guy was lacking in value towards a cause that like most of those teams are wanting to lose, really, right? So from that perspective, they were valuable by not adding value. So basically, he was the worst player on a good team this season. Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. Like, no, actually, man, these guys that suck ass on these bad teams that are tanking, they're quite valuable. They
Yeah.
might be like they're more valuable than a league average player to those teams. They are helping the cause.
And what they want.
Yeah, that's actually I like that. I like that. So who's number one?
John Wall.
Look, man, dude, wait. The dude put up zero value. I think John Wall, if you're sorting out bad teams, I think John Wall has literally been incredibly beneficial to the Rockets' cause.
I don't know, because I think that the tank would have soldiered on even with him, and I mean I'm joking a little bit because it's a joke award, but like that's a lot of money to ride the pine all year. Not his fault at all, but that's my point of view, is like salary to production ratio.
See, I think one of the things Rockets fans are missing about how crucial John Wall has been to their tank job is there's a salary floor. So John Wall's contract isn't there. They're going to have to spend some additional money, which either means they're going to have to bring guys in for more years, and that makes your cap future less good. You want as much flexibility going forward in a rebuild, or you actually get someone that's pretty good, and you're like you win 2 or 3 more games, and you end up with like the 7th or 8th pick, and you're just like, well, fuck, we were just bad for the 7th or 8th pick. So I want to push back on that. I think John Wall's been incredibly valuable to the Rockets tank.
You've convinced me. Jordan Nwora, least valuable player in the league this season.
I love it. So
let's hear yours.
So my third least valuable player, Jalen Green.
Boo.
He put look. I did this mainly to hear you boo and be upset. But like 538 has him as the least valuable player by their Raptor War. It's negative 2.1. He's actually like the thing that's amazing is that like he's improved on that negative dramatically over the course of the season. So it's all well and good for his future. But, by some measures, he's been one of the least valuable players in terms of, I think VORP and box plus minus, he does a bit better. What's bringing him down is the on-off splits that they factor in. Cause like as much as his box scores have improved, there's a little bit of a concern where it's like, this is one of the fears you have with like scoring guards is you're like, man, their stats look good. It's like, but why isn't their stats help the team seemingly? Kind of, I have this same issue with a guy like Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, guys like that, where it's like, it takes actual other good players around them for the team to suddenly get better. It doesn't feel like they lift them. I'm not concerned about Jalen Green just because like he's super young and I want to troll you. Now I want to get to all right, yeah.
Yeah, let me just. I mean,
Back.
no. Well, point well made. First of all, I didn't really consider rookies for this exercise at all, just because like, they're rookies, right? But also and
Just like
players
Kevin
on
Porter
tanking
Jr. Kevin
teams.
Porter Jr. is technically a rookie because like his rookie season doesn't count because he wasn't playing point guard. And so like, and last season was only like 30 something games. Like this is really his actual rookie season as a point guard.
Well, if you'd
Continue.
said Kevin Porter Jr., I would not have necessarily booed. So,
He's been, he's hit enough of his threes. I don't know if that'll continue, but he's hit enough of his threes
it's
not
true.
to be a horrible, useless
It's
player.
It's true. No, he's a good catch and shoot player apparently. But the other thing I want to say in regards to like the value of scoring guards and all that, it's definitely tends to be true. It's just harder for that archetype to like impact winning as compared to like playmaking wings or bigs or what have you. But I guess the hope when you're looking to project Green is that down the road, he'll be one of those players that's the subject of that old debate of like, well, his metrics say that, he impacts winning to only a certain extent, but like he's obviously one of the best scorers in the league. And so like different schools of thought will perceive him differently. Like that's what I expect for Green. In his prime, I think he's going to score 30 points per game. And guys like us are going to say like, well, actually, he's not the best player in the league, even though sometimes he looks like it,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where when we talk about best player in the league, a lot of times what people default to is who, when they're at their best for one game, can be the most unstoppable. Tends to be a lot of people's thinking like who's the best player in the league. And like I think he has that upside. So that's great. I mean, like as a rookie this season, he's probably actually shown that of this rookie class. Like when he's fucking on, I don't think anyone else can just win a game through their scoring in the way that he can. But I'm not worried about him long term because I think he actually is a pretty impressive passer. They just haven't asked him to lean into it as much. And I think Steven Silas is going to be out of a job halfway through next season for obvious reasons with that offense. Not a Rockets podcast. Number one and number two in the least valuable player of the year. I had to have a tie. I have Russell Westbrook and Julius Randle. Julius Randle has been so fucking bad. And the reason why, to me, I might give him an edge over Westbrook is I've been banging the drum on Westbrook being in decline for a long time. I mean, you don't need advanced analytics. You could just look at the way he plays. I think with Westbrook, the biggest indictment of him this season isn't the like odd fit on offense. It's that he was asked to not do as much on offense because he's playing next to LeBron and AD. That's a fair thing to ask of pretty much any player in the NBA. You could put Kevin Durant on that team and you'd be like, hey, Kevin, we don't need you to take quite as many shots because there's these two other guys that can take shots and they fucking go in, right? Like it's that he didn't take that conservation of energy and put it all on defense. It's almost like he like lost energy on defense. His defense was piss poor. The Lakers built this LeBron AD championship core around really good defense. And Westbrook, I kind of thought would be like, oh, he'll give effort on defense. He's just lost. He looks like a rookie out there on defense. Like it's like the amount of times where like he's just like doesn't know what the fuck is going on was just absurd. He's obviously a bad fit on offense, but like to me, it's not the offensive fit that was the most disappointing with him. It was, I mean, I don't know how many games you watched him, but like it was kind of fucking sad.
Yeah, probably about a half dozen, 6, 7 Lakers games this year. I completely agree with you, man. Because the thing about the offense is that like it really just boils down to the fact that he can't space the floor, right? Like if he could shoot, he would be able to play with LeBron. And like any player in NBA history, he would love to shoot as high percentage as he could. So like I have a hard time holding it against guys when they don't space the floor. It's like they want every shot they take to go in. They do or they don't, But yeah, he really could have taken this opportunity to like recommit to defense, practice defense, think about defense, watch tape. And it doesn't appear that he did that. He actually looks worse on that end than he ever has. So it's a big disappointment.
Yeah, I that to me was just like, it's like, oh shit, like, and that's why I think he's going to be one of these guys, kind of like AI, or maybe even maybe AI, where he's just like kind of out of the league after this big deal, or Carmelo, where it's like it takes him basically being out of the league to like readjust how he's going to be an NBA player to get back in.
It'll be one of the two.
Yeah, Julius Randle to me though, it's like let's be real here. Like we both didn't project the Knicks to be the 4 seed again, or really even be better. We thought the moves they made would help. We also, I mean, I don't know if we also, but I took a look at Julius Randle and I was like, look, like he probably just had a career year, good career year, but he was all NBA. Like this dude was a fucking all NBA player, and this season he's like literally been one of the least impactful players. 538 has him at negative 0.9 WAR.
Yeah.
237 out of 250 eligible players. Players have played basically a little over 1,000 minutes. He's been the 13th, 14th worst player in the league in that range in terms of value. Like Russell Westbrook's right there next to him also. But to me, it's just like the Knicks were expecting him to take a step back, but I thought they would be like, a 7 seed to play in team with I can't believe it. He completely fell off defense, offense, everything. And the Knicks were wanted to make the playoffs and they were counting on him being a pretty good player. And I think he's the main reason that they're not even in the play-in or even close to it, really.
I wrote a trade piece about Randall earlier. Do you know, like off the top of your head, even how far his 3-point accuracy plummeted between last season and this season?
I mean, I would have to imagine it's got to be close to 10%.
Yeah, a little more, man. He
Oh my
shot 41% from deep last year, dude, on 5.5 attempts per game. And this year, on 5.4 attempts per game, he's shooting 30.8. Like he literally went from elite to putrid.
I
That's pretty
mean,
rare.
yeah, that is rare. I mean, but it's like what, it takes like 750 3-point attempts for someone's, shooting 3-point shooting to like kind of like stabilize or you can be confident in it. I think we both agreed last season was probably an aberration.
Oh yeah, but like a
But
dip to
like,
like 34, 35% would have,
and he still have
like
been
that would
pretty
have been like
good.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's still been pretty good. So maybe it's just like back-to-back seasons. We got the best version of Randall and then the worst version of Randall. And the next season we'll be like, oh,
There he
he's
is.
back.
Yeah.
Or he'll bounce right back up and win most improved player again.
All right. Let's get out of the weeds here and move on.
Let's move to a real award that exists at least. I think least valuable player is my most favorite award because
I wish they gave it out, man.
I'm handing out awards for awards. My most favorite award goes to least valuable player. All right.